Hey guys, I'm here talking day 4 of the Atlanta Open. It was a long day for me. I'm currently filming this at 1:39 a.m. The play itself, the matches themselves ended at midnight. This was because Opelka's match, Reilly Opelka's match, got, when he was playing Alejandro Davidovich Fokina, they got rained out at like 3 p.m. and then they resumed play at like 6:30. And this pushed everything back. I stayed the whole tournament, and I interviewed 4 different players, and then also a doubles team at the very end. The last match on Stadium Court was a doubles match. I'm happy I stayed. I wanted to watch more tennis. It's always fun being able to be there in person. It was cool. I enjoyed watching doubles. It was nice to see doubles on a Stadium Court, a big court like that. But it was crazy. A lot of interviews. So. First Nishioka was playing, and Nishioka was very, very good, hitting a lot of really impressive angles on the court, rallying really, really well. Nishioka was hitting a lot of angles, really, really impressive, taking on McDonald, Mackenzie McDonald. McDonald played really well in the last round, but he was not anywhere near his best today, to be honest. A lot of errors off the forehand and just not at his best, just all around, a lot of errors, and he would say the same, I'm sure, as well. But Nishioka is really impressive. He's a top-notch player, really is, very talented and very quick, and yeah, he showed his kind of craft and cat and mouse on the court. Did an interview with Nishioka. Felt like I had a mess up in the interview, but it happens. You learn. Live and learn, but he was very nice, and I enjoyed that interview. And then after that, we had Tiafoe taking on Karatsev, and I was excited for this one. I felt like they had 2 really good matches last year where they split. Tiafoe won in straight sets in Washington, but it was the best and closest straight sets match of last year, one of the best straight set matches of last year. In Washington, thoroughly enjoyed that one, and it could have gone either way, to be honest, both sets. And then Karatsev did win in straight sets when they played, I believe, in Tokyo, but it was somewhere right after Washington, or after Washington last year. Anyway, I was excited for it because I thought they played good matches. Karatsev they both can hit some great shot making. It wasn't the most exciting match. A lot of it came down to serving. The first set came down to Tiafoe serving incredibly well. Like he was serving, I think the numbers said something like 77% first serves in, 78% first serve points won, if you want just a stat. But he was serving big. The heat and the heat was helping a lot with that. And it's really Georgia weather. Georgia weather in Atlanta is just so up and down. You just never know where you're gonna get it. It was very hot and sunny, and then all of a sudden it started raining. But it was very hot and sunny, and it made for quicker conditions where Tiafoe was serving pretty well, and he also hit some incredibly good passing shots early on, like in the 1-1 game, and that helped him to get the break. Karatsev was too good in the second set, and then Tiafoe clutched up. It wasn't the best match, but Tiafoe did just enough, and he was impressive in the third set. Tiafoe is really nice to speak to. The interview was really cool. He seems like very friendly with all the players, even behind the scenes. When I did my Davidovich Fokina interview, which I'll get to in a moment, Tiafoe was right there with him, just like joking around, even while I was like setting up my camera and stuff, which was cool. But yeah, it's so. I mean, what even, like, it's so crazy. But it's fun. Yeah, and Davidovich Fokina versus Opelka. This was the other match that was on. 2 big names, 2 names that maybe have been top 20. I don't know if Fokina has. Maybe he's been right outside the top 20. But yeah, I mean, Opelka played really, really well, except for the service games at the end of both sets, where Fokina did really well to return some big serves in play, and he managed to get the best of Opelka at the end of both sets. And Opelka just not serving quite well enough. He went down love 40 in the first set, and then that was the end of love 40 at 5-6, and that was the end of that. And yeah, it's basically a regular Opelka match where if Opelka drops a serve, it goes the other way. I mean, Fokina had to be very clutch at 3-3 in the second set because Opelka had some chances to break Fokina, but Fokina hit some great drop shots. Maybe it was the first set, 3-3 in the first set, maybe. Fokina had some great drop shots, was very clutch, so it all comes down to those little moments there. And yeah, Alejandro is very nice as well. Really, really enjoyed my interview with him. I hope I get to do another one with him, to be honest, as well. And yeah, I mean, going on from there, Shelton versus Shang, very fun. It was absolutely packed. I mean, for a round of 16 match, absolutely packed. Atlanta showed up. Shelton is from Atlanta, so it kind of makes sense. But Shang beat Shelton in very similar circumstances at this tournament, like exactly a year ago, in straight sets. So same thing happens again. Shelton will be disappointed, very disappointed. I mean, just being in Atlanta, I'll tell you, the talk was Ben Shelton. Shelton shirt, Shelton, 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 Shelton. Everybody was excited to see him. I really mean it. The talk, it was all Ben Shelton. Everybody was talking, oh, I'm excited to see Ben Shelton. There's Ben Shelton. I passed by Ben Shelton, like right by him, like a few times. So weird. Like there's a media room, and I was exiting the media room, and as I was exiting, a couple of people were entering the doorway. And one of the people said, there's a special guest, and like literally inches away from me was Ben Shelton walking into the media room. So anyway, that was pretty wild. But yeah, Shang played amazingly well. It's amazing how Shang can deal with Shelton's pace and still either just bring it back to him and hit it deep, or inject even more pace, especially off the forehand. Shang's forehand, Jerry's forehand is absolutely insane. I noticed that, I'll be honest, I first saw Jerry play at the Australian Open a few years ago when he was 17 years old, and I noted immediately, his forehand is insane. Like, right away, I noted his forehand is insane. That's when he became the first Chinese man to win a match at the Australian Open. So, he's amazing. I root hugely for Jerry to do well. He's going to be in a huge, huge thing in the sport, a huge player in the sport, and there couldn't be a nicer guy. Shelton's forehand was completely out of whack. He was not hitting well from the back. He was very impatient. A lot of errors from his side, just errors after errors, some shot selection issues. He was not returning Shang's serve well at all. Jerry was loving the dynamic, the forehand to forehand. He was playing the much smarter game. He was winning all of the rallies from the back of the court, really. Yeah, I mean, he was just hitting some really impressive shot making and redirecting the ball so well. I mean, Shang redirects the ball so well. Really impressive, and yeah, Shang once again was very nice. And then I thought maybe about going home after that happened, but I also asked a question of Shang saying the crowd was more for Shelton. I hope he didn't take it as a thing saying that the crowd was against him, because it was not, and I'm a huge fan of Shang. But yeah, after that I was thinking, should I head home? And no, I decided to stay for the doubles. I was like, you know what, I'm here. I'm going to make the most of it. I'm going to stay for the doubles. They did not play well at first. I'm not even going to lie. They hit a lot of poor shots at the start. But once it got towards the end of the second set, like second set tiebreaker, the level started really picking up. There were some really exciting moments that happened. Like 6-5, straight out of Connors versus Harhouse. It was Lamons and Withrow taking on King and I believe Stelden, something like that were their names. I don't want to mess it up, so I'll look it up. But there were some exciting moments in that match that happened. Yeah, so it was King and Stalder. But there's some exciting moments. 6-5, the second set tiebreaker. It was a set point for the team that did not win the first set, and they hit first one guy, Stalder, hit an overhead. The other team returned it. Then the other guy, King, yelled mine, and he started hitting about I'm not exaggerating, like 6 overheads in a row. And they were good overheads. And the other team was just getting it back overhead after overhead. It was ridiculous. The crowd was really getting into it. And then, of course, he hits this kind of weird mishit overhead / kind of volley into the net, and the crowd just, like, everybody goes crazy. And then the team that was retrieving the overheads didn't win that set, but they ended up winning the match. But yeah, the other team won that set. Evan King, shout out Evan King, he had an absolutely blazing return to serve forehand cross-court winner. It was nuts. maybe the best return serve of the whole tournament. Really. People don't... return to serve isn't usually a hot shot that people like to mention, but it can be impressive. And yeah, he hit this blazing hot return to serve forehand. It was insane. And then they went up 5-3 in the third set tiebreak. Third set should just be a fully played out third set, but anyway, they went up 5-3. They had chances to go up 6-3. They would have a double mini break serving, but Lamans on the other team hit a really good volley it was from a tough position. The guy hit a passing shot into the doubles alley, into the deuce side doubles alley, but he had this good kind of ran and kind of hit this good backhand stab volley, which kind of saved the day, stopped them from going down 6-3, and then they came back and won that tiebreaker. And then I got a chance to interview them. Yeah, and I had some cool conversations with people today, which was really nice as well, meeting some people. I find it a little bit awkward, the dynamic with the players right now. It's hard for me to really speak up and talk to them. I don't know how to deal with that yet, but I said something to the doubles players afterwards. I said, like, when y'all were retrieving overheads, that was nuts. Like, I didn't know when that was even going to end. And yeah, it was nice. And yeah, anyway, it's, I'm still new to this, but it was really enjoyable. So tired, like, the next 3 minutes is just going to be me asleep on camera. But yeah, huge, long day at Atlanta. Definitely join in for more. And yeah, Tiafoe is really cool. Fokina is really cool. A lot of really cool players to talk to. And yeah, definitely tune into all of the stuff that we're putting out. And yeah, please don't forget to subscribe, like the video, all of that stuff, please. And I appreciate you guys for watching. Thanks. And I'll see you guys at the next mini pod for more Atlanta Open tennis. And check out the Isner. I interviewed Roddick and the Bryan brothers, and Isner was on the court as well. So check that out too on the channel. And yeah, I'll see you guys at the next one.